Hi everybody and welcome to Nellie and Ruth Designs. Today we have a really special project going on. I'm sicker than a dog. I'm probably 90% better than I was, but the having the 13 to 17 boys between two houses, grandkids coming. My stepdaughter-in-law came for 2 days. Kind of got the better of me. But I am doing better. I just have a really bad cold. So I'm going to just take my time today because I get into these coughing fits. But I do have my little lifesavers here and I've got my water. So thanks for joining in. This is going to be a really fun, I think it's going to be a two-part series. I'll see how I go. I've done a lot ahead of time. This was a real surprise to me. Sharon from Mad Paper Crush contacted me. She wanted to put a design team together of 6 girls, and she invited me to participate, and I accepted. I've never worked with Sharon's digitals before. I love all of them. And it's, like I said, it's just going to be a lot of fun. And the project that I started is turning into a bigger project, which is okay because I actually like it better. But today I just kind of want to feature. I want to do a little video on what I'm going to feature with Sharon's papers. I want you to know that her company's name is Mad Paper Crush. She's on Instagram and Etsy. And you can go to her Etsy shop if you see something that I've been working with in this project. And you can get a discount on your images that you purchase from Sharon. And that runs from, I should have put it on here, that runs from July 2, which you're safe because this is what, July 15th? Yeah. Until December 31st of this year. And if you type in, whoever sees my videos here and follows along on Instagram, if you make a purchase and you type in under her coupon code, Nellie and Ruth Designs, you will get 10% off your purchase, and there's no minimum required. So I wanted to let everybody know that, which I think is very generous of Sharon to do. She has beautiful digitals, and I love them all. So I just want to show you the papers that I've chosen to work with for this project. I chose her Floral Symbology. I was first attracted to, I just love women. I love women's images. I've always admired, models. I love the women in the vintage magazine ads. I just think women are very, very special. And I really enjoyed her Floral Symbology, her women. To me, they're vintage style. And these represent the flowers. We have the pansy, the dahlia, the rose, the peony, and this is a gilly flower. And because I've been doing a lot of embroidery, I decided to do some little bits of embroidery to add to her images. I ran this out on plain copy paper because I wanted you to be able to see how beautiful the images are. For the project, I ran them all off on a pink vellum, and they're absolutely stunning. And you'll see how I incorporated them. I'm going to work with this today with you. But I did these on pink vellum, and they're just beautiful. So I chose the Floral Symbology. I'm going to set that over here. And then I chose which this isn't labeled, so I have to take a really quick look. I think this is her Parlor. Let me just double check because I don't want to steer you wrong. Yeah, this is the Parlor. And she has two Parlors. And they're both stunning. But I chose this one because I felt it went for what I wanted to do with the pink vellum and the greens. This went very well with all the images. So this is her Parlor series. And this is a wallpaper style paper, digital, that she created. This goes this way. And then this is part of it. This one I'm not using because of the blues. This is a little more vibrant, and I didn't want that look. So this is her Parlor series. Again, very, very pretty. And then the Brimfield, because I'll be making a few tags, and I'll be using this as accent pieces. And this, to me, what I've decided to create is going to be like a guest book. I got thinking about, the Brimfield Hotel and how people write, the guests write if they had a nice time or whatever. If you've ever stayed at a bed and breakfast, they do that a lot. And in my guest room, I do that. I keep a little guest book in there, so when friends come and stay, they can write a little something in there. And it's just nice. And they date it. So I got the idea from this paper here. And I just think this is wonderful. I really, really like all of these images. So, and I just ran everything on plain copy paper. I didn't use any cardstock, type of cardstock. So my initial thought process when I started the project, and you'll see how my mind changes. I love working with file cards, index cards. These are the separators that go into a file box for your index cards. And I really enjoy working with these. And I probably have 200 of them. And I first thought I was going to make pockets and tags. And I made these when I wasn't feeling 100% because I was very anxious to get started on this project. So I made these yesterday. And then it dawned on me at 3 o'clock in the morning when I was laying awake having a coughing attack that I'm like, oh dear, they're a little too wide. Because I know if you have a TN, it's a narrower book, Traveler's Notebook. And a lot of people, these actually do fit in a junk journal. They fit in mine because I make mine a little bit wider. So I first thought, well, you know what? They can go in a junk journal, and I think it would be really cool to have them hang over a little bit. Then they could use this whole side as a tab to flip the page. But then I said, well, I'm not sure if people would really understand that. And I don't know, if I put these in my Etsy shop and I explained it, if they would really get it. So after 2 cups of coffee and much debate and deliberation this morning on my back porch, I decided to do, I was looking at the Brimfield Hotel paper that Sharon printed out. And I said, how cool would it be to put these in a guest book style folio, and I can still make tags. And I found this little book here. It's a Token of Friendship book. And there's all wonderful little, and it's somewhat Victorian and vintage style. I'm going to be ripping and tearing some of these quotes out, and I'll be using them in the book. So that's where this whole project has kind of gone and taken me. But I want to show you what I have done so far, and I want to show you where we're going to go. And I thought we could finish in this first video one of the pockets for the book. So let me show you these first, because I just think they're so beautiful. I just love Sharon's papers. This is one of the first ones that I've made. And again, it's made with her, the wallpaper style Parlor paper. All the tags are Sharon's as well. I sat and cut for a full day. Her tags, I will show you those when we work on the one here. This here is the Symbology, the women. And then I bought an old vintage style tablecloth. And I've been dying to use it. And this is it here. It's big and bold, and I really enjoy this lace on it. And I think this was the perfect fit for these cards. And I just ripped and teared. I sewed it down. I added a piece of sari silk. I tried to tie it like a necktie so it would lay a little bit different. And then I did some embroidery last week. This has been a work in process. My mind has been running wild since she asked me to join the team. I wanted to do something different. So I worked on, I watched a lot of Wimbledon in the football, the European football matches. So I did a lot of embroidery, and I tried to match the flower with the image that Sharon produced. So this is one of them here. I'll put that up there. This is another one here. And again, these are all Sharon's papers and her tags and her little, well, I guess you just call them tags or embellishments. And again, this is all, again, her paper. This is another beautiful image of, this is the pansy. So I tried to create a little pansy there to give it a little color. So that's number 2. This one here, I made some cute little rosettes. And again, I incorporated her papers. And I just love this look. I just think it's so pretty. And the images are just gorgeous. And then we have this one here. I did 5, let's see, 2, 4, there'll be 5 altogether, I believe, yeah. And then this one here with the rose. And I just love them. I just absolutely love these. So these will be all going into the book. I have one that we will work on today. I'll show you my thought process on how I came about to create these. And then this is the book here that I'm kind of brainstorming and coming up with. So I wanted it to be a little bit larger because I knew that, these were going to be placed inside. So these are 8 by 8, the front cover. And I just took file folders and I cut them down to 8 by 8. And I'm using scrap paper here from what I'm using inside. And I'm going to, this is Sharon's paper. And then I took some of her paper that was left over. And I have a whole little design thing here that's going on I'm going to do. And then the inside is, let's see here. I'm using the same paper throughout. And this paper is from Blue Fern Studio. I just placed an order with them, and I just love this paper, and I think it goes wonderfully with Sharon's. It really highlights Sharon's artwork that she has provided for her customers to use. I just love it. It's just so pretty. So this is the theme throughout the guest book. So I'm going to set this aside, and I will do the front and back covers first before we get to the inside. But going to set this aside over here. And I have this on my Caterpillar because I've been using glue and I don't want to get glue. This is my blue background is just paper. So I thought today we could work on creating one of these cards. So again, so you just kind of know my thought process on how I came up with it. I'm going to grab a lozenge just in case. I don't want to start coughing. Okay. All right. So this here, I'm just going to set this aside. This is part of Sharon's. This is part of the paper from the Parlor. And I want to use the pink because I think it goes wonderfully with this image here, the pink background. But I also like the flowers here because it incorporates a little bit of red. So I've been playing with this. I'd really like to, even though this would be upside down, I'm thinking, do I want it on the top? Because I want to bring the girls up. I've brought all of the girls up a little bit to the tab. So it's kind of cool. You can see the number a little bit behind there. But I want to make sure, because I put the lace on, and it's probably a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of a way up. I want to make sure the flowers continued to show on here. So you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, but like the number 1 is here. So I brought the image up because I think it's just a really cool look to be able to see the number through there. But I don't know if it's real important to see that red, but I really do kind of like it. And I know if I tear the paper here, some of the red is going to come off. So I don't know. What do you think? I could just do all pink, but I think that makes it kind of dull. If I went to the side, which I could do there, I think that might be kind of cool to have these flowers run along the side with this here. I think that might be my best bet. So I'll rip this side here. Oh, I even get tired when I talk too much. So I'm going to try not to talk unless I'm explaining something. All right, maybe I can just get this where the... I actually need a straight ruler. I'm trying to get this just on the side, so, and leave just a little bit of margin. So we'll see if how this rips. Just trying to leave enough of that red to be seen. All right. And I think that's fine. So next we're going to just measure here. And I can see through the top here a little bit. And I don't care if this paper hangs over the side a little bit, because it's going to be on the page inside the book. So I'm not real concerned. I'm just kind of bringing it back a little bit. And I can always, whoops, runaway tear strip. I can always bring it up a little bit because we are going to have the lace on the bottom. So again, that does it. And this is kind of, I don't know, I guess if you call it, I don't really understand the term shabby chic. I haven't really gotten that yet. So I don't know if you could consider this. I consider it kind of shabby chic. I don't know. So if it's shabby, yeah, beautiful. That's my determination of what shabby chic is. Then I'm all set. I'm good. All right, and then I'm just going to ink around. And I hope my phone doesn't die. I came in this morning to record. My phone was dead. So I got it up to about 30-something%. So hopefully it will take me through what I want to do here. I may just have to pause and charge it up again. The way things have been going for me, it'll probably quit in the middle of this, and I don't want that. All right, so that's all going down. So we have that. I already ripped and tore my, which again, you know, I'm kind of considering this shabby chic because for some reason today when I ripped it, it didn't tear across evenly like these did. But I really don't care because I just think it looks cool. The way it is, it adds character. And then this is a little flower that I made for her. And I just think I was trying to replicate that, and I just think it's adorable. So I have to cut her down a little bit. I just want to take, there's a little border here. I just want to take that off. But I don't want to get too much into her face. I'm not going to do the top because I'll show you what I do with her. For her to go up towards the top. So I think that's good. All right. All right. So we'll put that there. As long as I remember it's there. All right. So the easiest way for me to do this is to get her up here. And I think, and the other thing that you have to remember is when you're working with a lot of elements, I always try to figure out where I'm going to position them because I've got a lot going on. I mean, I could put her, well, I want her over. I really want her here, that 3 to be on her. So I think I can, I have to do a little bit of a layout first. I'll probably end up putting the flower down here possibly. But because she will be going up here, I'm going to put her here like this. And I really want, I think I'll put, because I really want these flowers a little bit in there as well. So I just flip her over. And then I make an outline. And then I just cut her. Okay. All right. All right, good. She's on there. Good. Okay, that's good. Just like that. So I'm gonna get this all. I use my I'm gonna glue this over to the side here. I use my Yoo-hoo to adhere the paper onto the index file. And I try to get enough on so you know, it really sticks. It may curl the card just a little bit, but I'm not concerned about that because when I put them in the book, I use a strong double-sided tape, and it will be just fine. It will straighten them out. All right. And then I like to take my paddle and just, some people use a credit card, but I like my paddle. All right. And then we are going to get her situated on here. And again, I use the same Yoo-hoo. I find it works well with the vellum. And this really curls though. When you go to, see how it curls? So, and the one thing I like about using the Yoo-hoo is it doesn't adhere right away. You can move it around a little bit and get it positioned where you want it. And then if it doesn't stick right away, I just use a little bit of my glitter glue, just to tack a corner down or something. See, right here, it doesn't look like it's going to adhere, so I'm just going to use a little bit of glue here, and you won't see that. Okay. All right. Okie dokie. Okay. Now I have to sew. I have to adhere this here. And I'm going to stitch her down. And she doesn't look like she's even, but she is. And I think it's just because of the way this light is up here and it's darker. But that's kind of, yeah, I was going to try to straighten that, but she is straight. It's just, I think it's an optical illusion. So I'm going to get her stuck back down. All right, so I'm going to step away over to my machine here. And I'm going to get these two items sewn on. So that'll take me probably a minute. So just bear with me, and I will be right back. Okay, so here's a good question. So here's my next before I stitch. I have been stitching, on either side of the gales. So I guess my question here is, what do you think will look best? Stitching down, I'm not going to stitch across her face. So I'm going to stitch down. I may do something a little bit different on this one. Oh gosh. I'll definitely stitch down here. Maybe I'll just do a little stitch just up to here as well. So I'll do one down there and one up here. We'll see how that looks. All right, there's one side. And there's the other side. So yeah, I like that. Let me show you. So we actually have the two stitches going on, and I do like that. I think it just adds a little bit more. I'm not going to bother to pull these through like I usually do, because I want it to be a little shabby. Yeah, I like that, having the two on there. All right, so let me get this stitched on here. And I don't adhere this with anything. I just kind of bring it up and guide it. I may have to do a little bit smaller stitch on this one because I don't have a lot of this material to play with. So, all right, let me get that stitched. All right, so that's on. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, so now I want to get Sharon's, oops. I just did this yesterday. I cut so many of her images out here. I put them in these. It's not the best thing right now, but it works for me. And these are all of Sharon's. Let me tell you what these are. Hold on, bear with me. These are her vintage labels in her shop, and I just love them. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me show you a few of these. They're really, really pretty. She has these in her vintage labels. She has it blue, black, and then she has the antiqued brown, the burgundy. They come in the white. She has green. This is a really pretty image. And then she has these here, which I love. Look at that. Look at how pretty that is. I love, love, love her vintage labels. And this one I particularly like. I use this on one of the cards because I love the design here. And I just think that, I mean, you could cut this in half like I did on this one. You can cut it in half not that one. Hold on. Oh, this is the one. See, I cut this in half and just used half of it. But I love her labels. So we need to find a label for this gal right here. And I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking because we have this here. Come on, Barbie. Get it straight. Get your head on straight. And I'll know better when I pick a label. I don't think I want another round one. I don't want one like that. I haven't used one of these yet. And I don't want to cover up a lot of the flower either. It's all about the design. I want to use a white one, possibly, because of the white here, but I don't want it to be too bright. Let's see here. This is what takes me the longest time, is the design and making up my mind. Because it has to be just so. It can't just be so-so. It has to be just so. There's a white with a red. I think these are pretty. There's a lot going on. So I could have a half coming out that way with a little saying and keep that down there. I don't know if I want to use, I think I'm going to use, maybe I'll use, I don't know. Maybe that one goes the best. And if I don't like it, well, then I can just go back and pick another one of her. And these all come from Sharon as well. I can always go back and pick another one. And it looks like we're doing okay on time. I have my phone here because I do want to keep track of the time. I don't want to... My son will be coming home from work for lunch shortly, and he likes me to have lunch with him, although I'm not hungry. I haven't been hungry with this cold. I've had both of my COVID shots, so I know it's not COVID. I don't have COVID. Although I did call my doctor yesterday in kind of a panic. Like, do you think I have COVID? She's like, no, you do not. But if you want to come in and get tested, you can. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Let's see. I don't know. Kind of like that there because you can still see the flower. And then that possibly, that's a possibility. And then I'm going to get Sharon's. I'm also using her found numbers and dates, which are a lot of fun. And these I just ran off on plain, a heavier, no, I'm going to say heavier cardstock. It's just a, you know, I don't know what it is. It's just a heavier weighted paper that I get at Staples, and it's just plain white matte. Let's see here. I kind of like that. Maybe I could put, well, I've got my sari silk. And I'd like to bring the sari silk maybe down off of this section here because it would be funky with that. So I could always take a little one of her labels and put it maybe right here. Oh, let's see. Do I want to stay with the burgundy? Let me cut out these two burgundy ones here. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. Oh, I did when I was not feeling well. And because I have a smart TV, I have my YouTube right on my TV. And I can just lay on the couch and chill with the dog and be under a blanket and watch. And I always thought my videos were too long. An hour, I thought, oh boy, they're too long. Some do 30-minute videos. Blah, 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 blah. And it's interesting how people do make their videos. Some people chit-chat it up. Others put it to music. I'd love to put mine to music, but it's just another step that I don't know if I want to do that. And I do enjoy talking to y'all. I don't know, you may not enjoy me chatting it up, but I just feel like I'm sitting around a table with my girlfriends. Reminds me when I used to go to the crops and we would just chit-chat. And I do like to have people understand my thought process when I do something, because if I can bring something to the table that maybe you haven't thought of, that makes me happy. And I want to make you guys happy. But I guess the norm for most videos are 45, 50 to an hour, 50 minutes to an hour. So I don't feel too bad. Sometimes I'll watch a video and I feel like I don't know, I have mixed emotions about some people doing everything online, or not online, in their video, like, doing all 6 of these. I know your time is valuable, and I don't want to bog you down with seeing repetition. Whereas I think if I can deliver my message in a project, in one card, you'll be able to carry it on in a, second or third. I don't know. What do you think? These, I think I'd like to clip the corners off just a little bit. I think they're a little harsh. So we'll soften that a little bit. Especially if we use this, because this has the softened corners. And I'm kind of going for this here. And I guess it will tell once I decide where. Let me grab a piece of sari silk. And this is going to be a special one because there's a little blue dot on it. So I guess we could kind of see where we might, if we want that coming off of that. I like this down here. So I just think it has a nice placement, and I think we'll put the sari silk over here on this side. So this is a little bit shorter, so this is going to be a whole lot of fun to bring through today. And I think I'm going to put the sari silk on before I adhere all of this. So what I do with the silk, like I said, I try to tie it like a necktie. I've had to watch like YouTube tutorials twice, 2-3 times to try to tie it. So what I do when I have a small, here's a little tip and trick. When I have a little spot here, I take my my Cricut. You could probably take something else. And I just, this has a little point on it, so I try to just take the point, if it works, kind of twist it like you're removing a tick. You probably haven't removed a tick, or I just attach it here. Then I twist it, and I just kind of try to bring it through. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because it is tiny. Sometimes I actually try to thread it through, but that doesn't always work either. So I just try a bunch of little different things. It depends on the hole. If I can at least get it started, I can grab, I don't know why this one has a little knob on the end of the hook. And then I just kind of, I got it there. And then you can just bring it through. So when I tie this, oh, my neck is starting to, that's the other thing. I've been laying around so much. My back is tight. I try to, not that I'm a professional or a pro at tying a necktie, but I just kind of try to loop it around, bring it through. And bring it up through the, so I bring it under. I should keep my finger there. Okay, I bring it over, and then I bring it up and around into the neck part. I can't just tie it. I have to be different, right? And then you're going to take it like your necktie, and you're going to bring it down through. I should probably do a video just on tying that. And then you just kind of bring it up like you do a necktie. And you just play with it and get it out. And I really don't care if that little blue piece is on the sari silk. So there's like a little bit of, and there. So then it just kind of hangs down. You don't have your, if you tie it, your bows are going to go this way. If you, it's too narrow to double up and loop it down through. So that's why I thought of doing it like a necktie. And I think it just looks cool. And then you can just play with your little end things here. But I like the way that lays. So, all right. So we're going to take this and tuck this inside. And then we'll be done with this. And then we can move on in part 2 to the book. And I think I'll get the cover designed. I think I pretty much know what I want to do with the cover. I just don't know. I may do it with you because I'll probably collage the front like a masterboard, and it'll just be a reinforcement as to how I do my masterboards. And let's see, do I put that? No, I want to put that. I want that overhanging just a little bit. Or do I want to have that come down more? I think maybe I'll have it come down more like that. So this is where I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac on this and on this paper here. But I'm so happy. I feel very honored that Sharon asked me to be on her team. It's very humbling because you see all these other wonderful artists, and she obviously thought enough of me in my work to ask me to be on her team, and I'm very happy because it's challenging me to work with a different medium, digital medium. A lot of people, I've worked with a lot of retro items, and I mean, if I did my Lazy Daisy journal for my girlfriend, I have a style, and this kind of challenges me because her digitals are something that normally I wouldn't go to. It's kind of like being in a book club, and you're asked to be in a book club, which I was many years ago. And then, someone each week picks a book. And there was a lot of books that really were not my cup of tea. And I had a closed mind about reading them. I had my own interests as to what I like to read. And probably, I will say, some of the books that I was required to read were probably the most enjoyable books that I've read. And I'm just so enjoying working with Sharon's digitals, and it just opens up all new possibilities. And I'm very grateful and thankful that she asked me to be on the team. So there is number, let's see, how many did I do? 5 or 6. Let's recount, and then we'll wrap this video up and move on to the guest book. So we've got, this is number 3. This is 4. 2. Okay, so we did 5. All right, so just to recapitulate, this is number 1, number 2. I just love these. Here's number 3 that we did today. 3. Here's 4. And here's 5. So there are our women, our beautiful, beautiful women that will be going in the guest book. And we will move on to that. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks for following along. Thanks for, taking a look. If you're a new subscriber, well, I shouldn't say a new subscriber, a new viewer, I'd love to have you subscribe. All you got to do is just click that little button, and I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, and we're going to move on, and I'll see you in the next video. All righty, bye-bye.